Talk about the wars. Speak, try to touch their hearts. We are at war in Burkina, we know where it comes from, we are fighting. But when we look at the history of certain countries, it breaks our hearts even more. Sudan, Congo, in short, there are so many where people die by the thousands, where brothers tear each other apart all day long. Here, it's individuals manipulated by imperialism who are sitting on the other side, sending them a bit of money, fuel, weapons, ammunition, and they kill their brothers. They roam through the countryside, killing without even knowing why they're doing it. But all of this is because their minds are still switched off. You need to be able to switch the minds of many Africans back on so that we can wake up, and this is serious. And it's through the communication that you are doing. You're already doing it very well, and I encourage you to continue these efforts. We have created the Institute of Black Peoples. So we are in the process of making it operational, and I hope that everyone will participate either in person or via video conference to continue educating our youth so that they take responsibility, understand the world, and so that Africa can finally wake up, unite, and live with dignity and freedom. And as I said before, a revolutionary loves all the people. It is politics that often causes people to confuse the people themselves. But politics should not divide the people. So let us work, no matter our position, to unite people and not to divide them. But we must, one way or another, get politicians to change their approach in Africa. And on that point as well, we will continue to speak out, even if it means it won't be diplomatic, but we will do it.
As this story continues to develop, new statements attributed to Burkina Faso's leadership have intensified regional attention and public debate. According to multiple pro-government and regional sources, Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has issued a defiant warning amid rising tensions with Nigeria and ECOWAS-aligned actors. The message was clear: Burkina Faso is not backing down. In a statement circulating widely across the Sahel, President Traore was quoted as saying, "If Nigeria believes it can invade our land, let them come. Burkina Faso is ready. We fear no one, and we will defend our sovereignty at all costs." Whether interpreted as rhetorical resolve or strategic deterrence, the message resonated deeply across West Africa. This was not merely a threat, it was a signal to ECOWAS that military pressure would not force submission, a signal to foreign powers that Burkina Faso will not be intimidated, and most importantly, a signal to Burkina-based citizens that their leadership is prepared to stand with them, not above them. For supporters of the AES alliance, this statement echoes the spirit of Thomas Sankara, a refusal to bow even when the odds appear stacked. For critics, it raises concerns about escalation. But for millions of Africans watching, it represents something rare in modern politics: unapologetic sovereignty. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and a dominant force within ECOWAS, has officially emphasized regional stability and constitutional order. However, its involvement, especially following the aircraft detention incident, has fueled suspicions among AES supporters. Many citizens across the Sahel are now asking difficult questions. Is Nigeria acting independently or under pressure from Western partners? Can ECOWAS still claim neutrality when its actions align closely with former colonial interests? And what happens when African nations stand on opposite sides of a geopolitical fault line? This moment exposes a deeper divide, not just between governments, but between visions of Africa's future. Never before in recent history has a small Sahel nation spoken so openly and so boldly against both regional and global power structures. Burkina Faso is not claiming to be invincible. It is declaring that dignity is non-negotiable. And this is why Russia's growing involvement matters. Not because Moscow is a savior, but because it symbolizes the end of one-sided dependency. The Sahel is no longer waiting to be rescued. It is choosing its partners on its own terms. From Ouagadougou to Bamako, Niamey to Accra, social media has erupted with debate. Some fear conflict, others feel pride, many feel both. But one thing is undeniable: Africa is engaged. Young Africans are no longer silent observers. They are questioning narratives, rejecting fear-based diplomacy, and demanding leaders who defend national interest over foreign approval. This moment is not about war, it is about choice. The choice to submit or stand, the choice to obey or negotiate, the choice to repeat history or rewrite it. The winds of change are blowing across West Africa. The world is witnessing a bold new chapter as three Sahel nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, challenge the old order, reclaim their sovereignty, and stand united under a new alliance, the AES. With Russia stepping in, ECOWAS tensions rising, and alleged foreign interference from the West, a historic shift is unfolding, one that could redefine the future of Africa. This is the story of resistance, unity, and the rising strength of a continent no longer willing to be a pawn on the global chessboard. In 2023 and 2024, military-led governments in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger made headlines by cutting ties with France, calling out Western interference, and forming a powerful alliance known as the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES. These three nations, long plagued by terrorism, poverty, and underdevelopment despite foreign assistance, began reimagining their own path forward. The AES was not just a military pact, it was a statement of Pan-African self-determination. Led by figures like Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger, these leaders are now seen by many as a new generation of African patriots, unafraid to challenge the status quo, even at great personal and political risk. Their rejection of ECOWAS authority, especially when sanctions and threats of military intervention were raised, was more than a political move. It was a symbolic break from post-colonial structures. As ECOWAS tightened its grip and Western governments raised alarms, Russia saw an opportunity. Reports began emerging of military equipment shipments, training missions, and even joint patrols involving Russian forces in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. This wasn't entirely new. Mali had already distanced itself from French troops and invited Russian support back in 2022. But now, under the AES alliance, Russia's presence in the Sahel appears more coordinated and symbolic of a broader African realignment. Why Russia? For many AES citizens and leaders, Moscow represents an alternative power that doesn't carry the same colonial baggage as the West. It's about strategic partnership, not servitude. Critics warn of neo-colonialism in another form. Supporters argue this is a tactical step toward true multipolar independence. Tensions escalated dramatically when a Nigerian Air Force plane allegedly entered Burkinabe airspace without authorization. According to AES sources, the plane was intercepted and grounded, and 11 personnel on board were detained for further investigation. The official claim? Spying. Captain Ibrahim Traore refused to release the plane, stating that Burkina Faso would not be intimidated or violated, even by a fellow African nation. He emphasized that sovereignty meant zero tolerance for covert interference, whether from ECOWAS or their external allies. This move sent shockwaves across the region. It also raised deeper questions. Why was Nigeria under President Bola Tinubu risking military escalation with AES nations? And more importantly, was Nigeria acting alone? Pro-AES voices have accused France's Emmanuel Macron of manipulating ECOWAS through Nigeria, using President Tinubu as a regional proxy to regain lost influence. Whether or not these claims are fully proven, the perception is powerful and dangerous. For millions of Africans in the Sahel, these events feel like a rerun of history. Foreign powers meddling behind the scenes, trying to divide and control African nations through local leaders. And that's why leaders like Traore are standing firm, not just for Burkina Faso, but for a new Pan-African vision where African problems are solved by Africans, not dictated by distant capitals. The AES versus ECOWAS struggle is no longer just about borders or alliances. It reflects a continental awakening, a shift in mindset, in strategy, and in identity. Across Africa, from Addis Ababa to Dakar, young people are watching. They're tired of aid that never develops, of debt traps, of puppet politics. They want a new Africa, shaped by African hands and African hearts. And despite the risks, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are showing what courage looks like. They are choosing bold action over quiet obedience, and that choice is inspiring millions. Africa is awakening. As alliances shift, powers collide, and new leaders rise, one truth remains. The future of Africa will be decided not by the West, not by Russia, not by China, but by Africans themselves. So to all watching from within and beyond the continent, pay attention, because history is being made and Africa is taking the pen. Subscribe to Make Africa Great for more stories that highlight the power, potential, and pride of the continent. The world may not be ready, but Africa is rising.
Yes, here we are. Greetings and welcome everyone, my dear lovely family, brothers and sisters. It's my hope that you're okay, you are doing well. There's a tension between Nigeria and Burkina Faso after Burkina Faso rejected to release a seized Nigerian aircraft and its crew. Burkina Faso has taken a firm stance over the seized Nigerian aircraft and its crew, insisting Nigeria has failed to provide a convincing evidence that the flight was headed to Portugal. According to insiders, Ouagadougou says verbal explanations are insufficient until Nigeria clearly provide or proves the aircraft's destination and mission were non-espionage. Both the plane and personnel will remain in custody. Burkina Faso is reportedly prepared for prolonged negotiations, citing a similar 2023 case involving a French aircraft that took nearly a year to resolve after intense diplomacy and mediation. So the message is clear: no proof, no release. So now major diplomats in Nigeria are under test. Of course, I saw others talking about military intervention, military solutions. Let me tell you, in this issue, there's no military solutions. The only solution is diplomat solution. Of course, some Nigerians have said Nigeria is powerful giant of Africa, can defeat Burkina Faso. It's not about fighting each other. It's not about maybe enter into war with Burkina Faso. No. And if Nigeria will enter into the war with Burkina Faso, it is not about Burkina Faso. It's about the alliance of Sahel states. And this will also put ECOWAS into conflict with the alliance of Sahel states. So friends of Nigeria, France, and others will not help Nigeria. Friends of Burkina Faso and Sahel, Russia, and the others will not send troops to these countries. What they will do, they will sell weapons in exchange to our natural resources. So we need to be vigilant and to be careful. If we think maybe to enter into war will maybe we get some support. No, what these powerful nations will do to us is to send and to sell weapons to us and saying, you see, Africans, they're killing each other. So Nigeria should not go into the trap of trying to fight Traore. And I know majority of Nigerians love Traore. Majority of young Africans love Traore. So if Nigeria will enter into war or into escalation with Burkina Faso, we are going to see the Africa World War. This will be Africa World War. So we should not allow that to happen. We know leaders such as Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is sometimes being used by France to destabilize these countries. We know since France was expelled in these countries, they turned to Nigeria, to Tinubu, to see how Tinubu can help to remove these leaders or to return to ECOWAS, to see how they can convince these leaders to remain into ECOWAS so that France can control Sahel. But these leaders, they have said enough is enough. We are no longer going to be bullied, and we should find a new path and a new way. As Africans, I think the time to show our maturity is now, to sit on the negotiation table, to solve our challenges. Despite some of our leaders are being used, for instance, as I said, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been used by France, Macron. So we have to find the best way on how we can solve our challenges. Recently, you saw what happened in Congo and Rwanda. They went to America, they came back, but after that meeting, we see M23 continue to fight, taking another city in Eastern Congo. So you can see there's no solutions that will come from outside. Solutions must come from within, from ourselves. And the only solution is to come together as Africans. You know, at the beginning of this video, you saw President Traore talking about they have created the Union for Africans. So if we have such kind of platform, let us negotiate and discuss this matter, what we can do. You know, because of division, that's why we have these things. If we were united as Africans, I don't think right now we have to talk about Nigeria, to talk about Burkina Faso, because we have to talk about Africa. We have to talk about United Africa. Because of division, of feeling that maybe certain tribe, these are just a tribe, Nigeria is tribes, and Burkina Faso, those are tribes. Because of these tribes, we think we are better than others. But on the faces of others, we are looked as Africans. There's no difference between Nigerian and Burkinabe. All are Africans. So in the face of the rest of the world, all of us, we are Africans. So whether you're coming from Nigeria, from Ghana, there's no identity that you black people, maybe you are long, your nose is so long, you are from somewhere. Maybe your head is too big, you are from somewhere. No, we are Africans. There's no way we can differentiate us. So let us come together. Let us unite. Let us keep these things that are dividing us apart and come together, unite, and solve our challenges. That's my opinion. So, but all in all, brothers and sisters, we'll continue to share what is going on. Still tension is there between Burkina Faso and Nigeria and Sahel in general. And we hope solutions will come in the near future, and those who have been detained will be released, the aircraft will be released. But as long as Nigeria will provide proof that it's true the plane was going to Portugal, because already Portugal has declined that plane has no schedule to go to Portugal. And if you look where Portugal is and Nigeria, you can see. But all in all, brothers and sisters, let us come together, unite, and solve our challenges. So if you have something to share with us, please do so through the comment section, and make sure that you share the message, the video to others. We're here to make Africa great. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me in this time, and be prepared for more video and more videos and other good news from our mother continent, Africa. Have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make Africa great. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Africa.